Hi folks, it's Rob from TetraKey, and I'm here to do, as I promised on Friday when I felt horrendous, I'm here to make up for the session I missed. So this is session number 19 of 2017, which is one of 2,600 minutes or 3,000 minutes of sessions that I'm going to be giving to you in 2017. I've had a horrendous end to Friday, a pretty horrible yesterday. I haven't had a migraine for about 15 years, and wham bam thank you ma'am one arrived on Friday and has knocked me for six a little bit bags under the eyes, and yeah, so as opposed to pushing on, I pursued some different hobbies and spent some time sleeping, some time drinking water, and time playing with my little baby, and cooking, and maybe doing a bit of DIY as well, and just trying to get over this horrible headache. In this little session, I want to talk to you about what really is success. And before you go any further with pursuing whatever it is you're pursuing at this point in time, if you don't know what success is for you, I'd just stop and work it out. So I'm going to give you some tools to work out what that might look like or feel like for you. Because, you know, this thing of success comes with as many downsides as upsides. You know, for everyone give, there's a take. And if you don't know what your definition of success is, or what it is you're really chasing after, quite frankly, you could experience a whole load of consequences for your pursuit of your goals that are undesirable for you. And I'll give you some insights into that in a little while. So if you're enjoying these sessions, and I know that you are, if you're getting something out of it, I'd ask you to click like, click share on Facebook, and if you're seeing us on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't liked or subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please do so. You'll find a separate playlist on there, which is going to be a whole load of thoughts to grow by, brought to you from my co-founder Mark and myself. That's the only place in the world we will be displaying them is on YouTube. So go and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And if you could invite your friends to come and like our Facebook page, that would be a massive demonstration to us that you're getting something out of all of this. So click like, click share, and get in touch. Get in touch. Craig, Josh, Lindsay, who else? Paul, whole bunch of us, Dave Foley, a whole bunch of people have been in touch. Shiham, Shalata, there's just a few names that come off the top of my head. People who've been in touch, sent us messages, asked us questions, and those people will attribute to the fact that one of us gets back to every single one of those questions, because we are pretty much as dedicated to your success as you are. And so this thing, what really is success? You know, knowing what your version of success is critical, and knowing what the consequences or the gives and the takes are in your definition of success is vital, because otherwise you can pursue goals that eventually give you a consequence that frankly is actually untenable to you. You know, this whole thing of your career and your businesses, your entrepreneurial spirit, it's all really linked around who you are and the circumstances in which you want to live. And, you know, I picked up a client a little while ago, and I can't tell you his name because I work in confidence with all of my clients. But he'd been coached for a matter of 2 years by a relatively famous name brand coach, and he'd focused his time and his effort into his businesses to the point of regular 14-hour days, and the guy, I take my hat off to him, was amazingly productive. It wasn't as though he was spending 14 hours just being busy. He was spending 14 hours a day being productive, often would work 6, 7 days a week, and had done so for 2 years, until one day his wife said, that's it, it's over. And I found somebody else and I'm out. You're no longer my husband, you're no longer around. Me and the kids don't ever get to see you anymore, spend time with you, you've changed, etc, etc, etc. And she moved somewhere where there was about 2.5 hours flight away. And you see, over this 2-year period, he'd taken a business from about $1.2 million a year to about $5 million a year. Was doing really, really well, could afford all of the shiny, nice toys, cars, boat, holidays, although he didn't really take much in the way of holidays, but all sorts of fancy stuff, put the kids in a fancier school, so on and so forth. Was married in community of property. Wife was a director in his business, and when him and his wife got divorced, he ended up pretty much losing 50% of everything. And this is a really sad story, but it gets even sadder, you see, because his wife and kids moved 2.5 hours flight away. So if everyone spent weekends with his kids, or even see his kids, he had to get on a plane on Friday afternoon, evening, fly 2.5 hours, spend a weekend, hire an Airbnb place, so on and so forth, come back on Sunday. And so not only has he lost all of this money that he'd worked for 2 years, he's also lost complete and utter flexibility on time as well. In fact, he's actually losing time. Not only that, is he's seeing his kids grow up, he's being the long distance dad, so on and so forth. And the cost of this pursuit of this financial goal has been devastating on who he is, and how he goes about it. You see, because all he'd done is he set this financial goal for his business and just pursued it with blinkers on. He hadn't actually had a conversation with his wife and come up with a time frame. You know, maybe you could go and say, well, listen, dear, I'm going to have to work 6 or 7 days a week for the next 18 months to 2 years. But at the end of that, this is where we will be. And this is where I will be able to give back. I'll have automated my business to this level. Our family income will have trebled. And I'll be back to working less hours than I ever have done previously, maybe 20 hours a week, 25 hours a week, and now it's going to be about us. You see, that conversation was never had. It was just a pure business transaction. Let's take the business from here to here, come hell or high water, work really hard, and not considered the whole life consequences. You know, I don't know about the rest of you, but I married my wife because I loved her, and I'm sure if you're female, you married your husband because you loved him, and married with the intent of being with them for the rest of your days. And to suddenly have that whipped away from under you, and half of what you've worked for whipped away from under you, is pretty traumatic. And all of this goes back to, well, what is this definition of success that you pursue? What is it, the framework that you really, really work in? You know, a 1, 2, 3, 5 year goal is really a very, very, very short-term thing that can have a massive impact on the long term of how you wish to go and play out your days. And so I'd ask all of you, when you're considering what your 1, 2, 3, 5 year goals are, is, do you ever stop and just crystal ball into the future and consider out what are the consequences of me pursuing and achieving this goal? And for every one that you do achieve and pursue, that there is going to be a series of consequences. And am I really willing to accept all of those consequences? Now, what I'm saying is you should have goals. You should pursue them. But pursue them with an eye on the future. Pursue them with an eye on what the rest of your days will look like. And if you're prepared to accept all of those consequences, then cool, jump on, crack on, pursue, go really, really fast, go really, really, really hard. And here's the thing, this success thing does not have to be about earning millions of dollars. I get loads of people who come to me who want to, they want to double their revenue from 1.2 million to 2.4 million over the next 18 months, year. And it is possible, don't get me wrong, it is 150% possible. But maybe your definition of success could be to further automate your business and work less hard and spend more time with your family on your hobbies, your projects, other things. Maybe it could be to earn less, have more time. Maybe it is to have more money, but let's put a reality check in this more money. If you earn $400,000 US or more, and you live in the United States, you are top of the 1% of earners in the United States of America. If you live in the rest of the world, you're going to be part of maybe the 0.1% population of that country or more. And so, are your financial goals realistic? Are they even sensible? Where's that balance point where you've got enough cash and yet enough time? And maybe those are the two things to juggle, aren't they? Cash, money, and maybe energy as well, in terms of how much energy does it sap out of you, your mental energy. And quite possibly you could consider, maybe in partnership with your business partners or with your life partners, in defining what your definition of success is. That one thing that every goal is measured about it. For me, it's about casting the biggest positive shadow possible that I can do across the entire world, as many people as possible, to make a positive difference to their life. However, that comes at a while earning enough money to have enough time to spend with my friends and loved ones doing the things that we all enjoy doing together. And so I balance every goal off against that little short statement there. And so the question for you is, what's yours? What's your definition of success? And are you able to articulate the long-term consequence of that definition of success? And are you willing to live with it? And not all consequence has to be devastating, divorce, death, or something really negative. But for instance, for me, I had a goal of moving to South Africa, which is where I am at this point in time, and I've had to go and leave most of my family 10,000 kilometers away. And that's something which I'm willing to live with. But are you? And so there's a few thoughts for you to go and contemplate. Come up with your definition of success. Share it with the people who are crucial to you in your life. And ensure that it's agreeable to them as well. And then check every goal against that to ensure that you get the harmony that you wish in your life, that balance that's critical. For this being useful to you, please go and click like, click share on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and give us a thumbs up on YouTube, and share all of this with as many people as possible, including inviting your friends to our Facebook page. That would give us a big, like you're giving us a big heart-warming hug. So my name's Rob Yates. It's a pleasure to go and give you some more thoughts to grow with on this, our 19th episode in 2017. I'll be back with you on Monday at the usual time, usual place. And apart from that, go forward, be amazing, and have a wonderful 24 hours. Stay awesome.